Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. You're going to get smarter today. The topic, education. And he's got the rundown.
Sam, Terry Hickman, president of the Teachers Union, joins us today, answers some tough questions, and has a special announcement. Sam?
And coming up on the Power Pundit panel today, Paul Enos, Ray Hager, and Larry Matheis. It's all coming up next on the all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
The Abowed family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Catch a straight, dine at 8. Lucky you. Lucky you. Dance till 1. Have some fun. Lucky you. Lucky you. Taste the shrimp. Have a sip. Try the pool. Play it cool. At the Sienna Hotel Spa Casino. Lucky you.
In business, the key to success is not the quantity of your clients, it's the quality of your clients. Almost all companies will tell you they want more sales, but what they really need are quality customers who pay their bills on time. With Employer Link's client and vendor screening program, we provide comprehensive reports regarding the financial performance of your corporate prospects, customers, and vendors. Build your business with great clients and vendors. Call Employer Links today at 883-3733.
If you own a business and want to maximize your company's potential, join the Retail Association of Nevada. Our membership benefits include the Nevada Retail Network Self-Insured Group, providing workers' compensation coverage that can lower your rates. That savings can go directly to your bottom line. We are an effective pro-business organization that lobbies on behalf of our business members. The Retail Association of Nevada, protecting Nevada businesses for 35 years. Call 882-1700 to see what we can do for your organization.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad, political analyst Ande Engleman on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the News 4 Broadcast Center, here's Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we have a terrific show on tap for you today. Terry Hickman is here. He is the head of the Nevada State Education Association and always a great guest. Welcome.
Thank you. Terry, thank you for being here with us today. All right, you have an announcement to make.
Yes, I do.
A little news.
A little news, okay.
Yes, through the direction of the Board of Directors of NSEA and through the members, we have decided that we need to run an initiative petition to fund our schools to the national average.
And so this will be different than the Gibbons Initiative?
We feel it's part of the Gibbons Initiative in terms that the Gibbons Initiative talks about education first, but does not talk about funding. Our initiative says that we want to define national average as the goal for funding in this state.
Okay, I want to back up just a minute.
All right, me too.
2 weeks ago, or when the Gibbons Initiative first came out, the Nevada State Education Association was quoted as being opposed to the Gibbons Initiative. Since that time, Senator Harry Reid has come out in favor of the initiative. Have you two experienced a change of heart?
Well, what we've experienced is the fact that the Gibbons Initiative got us going in a direction that education was a primary importance to the state. And I think that was a good debate. Whether or not that initiative actually gets you there in terms of funding, we believe we've answered the question that we had.
Okay, well then let me ask you this for the benefit of the public. What is the difference in dollars between what we're currently funding education to and what it would take to get us to the national average?
Well, currently, the difference between what the per pupil is paid for here in Nevada and what the national average is is around, and it varies, so I'm going to give you a number and then we'll just work it does change, but it's around $1,400 per student.
An increase,
Right.
which would turn out to be how much in total dollars?
Well, it would be a significant amount of money.
About 400 million?
Somewhere in there, 400 to 500 million. But I would also like to say that we're talking about reprioritizing the budget. We're talking about making cuts in the budget. We're talking about dedicating new revenue that comes to the state for funding to the national average.
Okay, what kind of cuts?
Well, that's up to the legislature. We do not presume to tell the governor and legislators how to do their job. We simply want them to do a job that we think has been sorely missing, and that is having a goal that it makes a lot of sense to people.
All right, now what if, in order to reach this goal, the only way they can do it is by not funding prisons, Medicaid, and other needs in the state?
Well, of course, that's not going to happen. But that's why we have a legislature that needs to listen to the will of the people, and we believe that people are going to support this and say that funding to the national average is a key part of education in the state, and therefore we need to make the priorities of that and follow such and do what we can to be sure that everything in the state is working well.
All right, so the devil's always in the details, Terry.
Correct.
And when will we be able to see the details of this initiative petition?
We're going to file it, we think, within the next 2 weeks. We are under a time crunch, obviously, because we have to have it completed with the over 50,000 signatures by June 15th.
How many members do you have in your association?
Approximately 22,000.
And you need to sign the petition, how many?
57,000.
Around 57,000. We also have the requirement of having 13 of 17 counties participate in that. So it cannot just be Washoe or it cannot just be Clark. It has to be, many counties have to have 10% of their voters sign the petition.
You know, I started out in public speaking at Toastmasters, and I remember that you could talk about a zillion different subjects and one or two people would be interested. You brought up the subject of education and everybody was interested. I think you're going to get a lot of support for this. I think, you know, as Andy says, the problem is going to come when we try to figure out how to get the money.
That has always been the question, but we're raising the question of priority. How can we say education is a priority and not fund it? And then let the people say that. Let the people say to the legislators, this is a priority.
But it is possible that people will believe that, yes, education should be funded first so that it's not used to blackmail people for their votes for higher taxes. At the same time, they might have some hesitancy over signing a petition that might force a tax hike.
Well, again, the devil is in the detail, as you have said, but I assure you that we have listened carefully to our members and people around the state who say that we really need to have a goal as a state rather than going into the legislature and trying to come up with something. Let's have a goal before we get there.
All right, well, let's have a discussion on this whole idea of what happened at the past legislature, how much it affected the school system, and how we're going to get through this quagmire to get, and obviously everybody's in favor of kids having education. Let's take a break and we'll come back with more with Terry Hickman right after this.
Atlantis is cooking up a party. It's every diner's paradise. Toucan Charlie's Buffet and Grill, voted Reno's best buffet by locals year after year. Experience the Mongolian barbecue, new Asian station, and sumptuous exhibition stations filled with fresh entrees, salads, and desserts. Try the Friday night seafood buffet and Sunday champagne brunch.
Atlantis.
Would you like to savor a Trento pork chop? Or maybe pasta rags with grilled chicken? Hugo's Tuscan Grill at D'Andrea is a celebration of color, flavor, and freshness. Each dish is created from natural, wholesome foods that is delicious and nutritious. Hugo's is a comfortable restaurant with breathtaking city views. If you enjoy great food and good company, visit us here at Hugo's. It's the best that dining can be. 2900 South D'Andrea Parkway in Sparks.
Allegra is Northern Nevada's #1 offset printing and digital copying facility.
From disc to destination, Allegra utilizes tomorrow's technology today. We specialize in booklets, catalogs, manuals, newsletters, stationery, and envelopes.
Xerox, Docutech, 4-color printing with Heidelberg Speedmaster, desktop publishing and design, graphic services, pickup and delivery.
If you need printing, Allegra can do it. From disc to destination.
To experience the royal cuisine of India, you need some serious magic or simply transport yourself to India Garden, right here in Reno, where you'll discover Indian specialties refined over centuries. Sikh kebab, tandoori dishes cooked in our own tandoor oven, biryani specialties, curries, fresh-baked Indian bread, over a dozen vegetarian dishes, even dishes rare to India like dosa, South Indian-style crepes. India Garden off South Virginia near Sports West. We are India.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
And we're back on Nevada Newsmakers talking with Terry Hickman, who is the head of the Nevada State Education Association. I want to back up the train a little bit. During the legislative session, we were talking about the crisis that the school districts were going to be facing. We talked to Scott Craigie a little bit about this last week when he was promoting the Gibbons Initiative. How much of a problem was there at the end of the legislative session for the schools getting started? Was it a huge problem, or did it finally work itself out without great trauma?
There was the threat of tremendous trauma.
But was there?
There was one school district, I believe, that did not start on time.
Nye County.
Nye County did not start on time, which caused a tremendous problem in terms of the students and those kinds of schedules that were impacted. In Clark County and other places that were hiring teachers, there was a real reluctance by teachers to commit. And obviously the school district could not commit because they weren't sure how things were going to go.
Do you feel we got a lesser standard of teacher because of this, or are you pleased with the quality of the people that we got?
Well,
Tough question.
It's always, when you look at teachers, you always want to be able to offer them as soon as possible the ability to make a choice between several good choices. When we were unsure, I know for a fact that many good teachers who had already committed changed their mind and went elsewhere because they were unsure if they were even going to have a school year to start.
One of the concerns I have, and I was talking with a regular pundit on our pundit group off the air the other day. His wife is an elementary school teacher, and he told me that his law firm is supplying copy paper as a donation to the school because they ran out of copy paper in the first month. They ran out of thumbtacks for the year in the first month. These are such basic things, elementary school paper for kids to draw on. I mean, when you talk about $400 million to increase education and the supply system is in such a disaster, I mean,
where's the money going?
Is this rampant?
Well, you will hear from teachers, the average teacher puts between $500 and $1,000 into their classroom each year because the supplies are not there. And they want to make a difference for their kids.
But I thought that in the last session of the legislature, I know we fenced off books, so that money couldn't go for teachers' pay, but it had to go for books.
Which it didn't need to because teachers have never taken textbook money, but that's
well, some counties say differently, but yeah.
They're wrong.
So do we need to start putting in money for supplies and fencing that off too?
Well, it's certainly up to the school districts to do what's the right thing for the students.
So what is the priority for funding?
Our priorities, we have several. When we look at the money that would come from funding to the national average petition, we're looking at truly trying to implement K-12 class size reduction. You talk to middle school and high school teachers and they'll say, it is amazing that I have 35, 40 students in my math class, and this is not the best situation for these students. We want full-day kindergarten and expand that program. We certainly think that professional development is a key way to make a difference with closing the achievement gap. We think those kinds of things need to be added. Salaries and benefits of teachers and support professionals to retain and attract the best. Certainly, all those are components of what we say needs to be done with the money.
Washoe County is already implementing all-day kindergarten without extra money.
They are implementing it in some schools, but it is not a district-wide program. And many times in those classrooms, in fact, I just visited one last week, there were 50 kindergartners with a class with 2 teachers, which seemed to be okay, but when you had 50 students in a classroom, class size reduction also intended to corral kindergarten. And not just first, second, and third.
Terry, let me express my frustration, and I think I reflect that of a lot of our viewers, in that we just seem to keep paying higher taxes to send more money to education, but the test scores don't go up and the kids don't seem to be getting any smarter, and and people are just frustrated because all we ever hear is, give us more money, and we do, and there's never any improvement.
Well, the last test scores that I saw, of course, you can look at which test score you want to, but for example, here in Washoe County, the test scores in ACT and SAT tests are going up like this, so the high schools here have been doing a tremendous job.
I'm talking about the performance tests.
Well, ACT and SAT was, as a parent, I can tell you, is a very important test to me that my son or daughter can get into college, and those test scores continue to go up. So I think that's one thing to look at. That
but they also have to pass other tests in order to graduate.
Right, the proficiency exam, correct. And that is always an issue, but we believe the small classes and the kind of remedial help that I think funding to the national average can provide will really make a difference.
Well, Terry, also, you have a huge influx of people coming into the state on a constant and regular basis. 6,000 people moving to Southern Nevada per month. A smaller percentage here, but still large numbers of people coming in. Doesn't that also affect the test scores in the long run? Doesn't it make it harder for you to be able to show that people who have been residents in Las Vegas and going to school over a longer period of time are doing better versus the people that are coming in that may not be?
Absolutely. Because of the growth in Nevada, it's the students who come in don't all come in with high levels of skills, and it does take a while to catch them up. Our class size reduction only works for first, second, and third grade. If a student comes in fourth grade without the ability to speak English, they'll be sitting in a classroom with 30 or 35 students. They'll get some assistance, but again, that's the kind of student whose test scores may be very able to do well, but in their native language, not on that English test.
Okay, I got one last question for you. Maybe Andy has another. $400 million to be able to boost it.
It's actually more than that, but that's a good figure.
And you said you're going to do this on a graduated
Oh, yes,
scale.
absolutely.
Okay, but I mean, that's half of what we raised in taxes in the last legislative session, and that was a bloodbath. Realistically, do you think this is going to happen?
I believe if the voters of this state say this is a priority, and given this opportunity to really say that this is what we want, I believe the legislature and governor will respond.
Terry Hickman, always a pleasure to have you here. Thanks very much, and thanks for breaking the story on our show. We'll be right back with the Pundits on Nevada Newsmakers right after this.
Before you head to Carson, take care of yourself with a visit to Tamarack Junction. Catch a hot cup of coffee and the morning news on one of our 32 TVs and enjoy the best food in South Reno. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
The Abowed family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Your home is an expression of all things comforting and familiar. For custom storage, you can count on California Closets to provide quality, value, and design integrity. The process is easy, combining your personal style with our organizing expertise. We care about what matters most to you, making your home functional and beautiful. California Closets, simplifying home and life since 1978. Call today for your complimentary design consultation.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo Free Checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Make your daily commute easy with breakfast or lunch at the Tamarack Junction. Enjoy daily specials, super fast service, and South Reno's freshest morning meals. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, time for the Pundit panel, and it'll be a lively one today. We have Ray Hager here with the Reno Gazette-Journal.
Sam.
Education correspondent, premier. Paul Enos with the Retail Association of Nevada, one of our proud sponsors, and we're always happy to have you here.
Good morning.
And Larry Matheis with the Nevada State Medical Association. Okay, Ray, you heard what's been discussed for the last 12 minutes. What do you think?
Well, I think it's kind of a pie in the sky kind of idea that I don't think will really fly in the legislature. $350, $400 million over 10 years. I just wonder what is going to be sacrificed to come up with that money. And one thing that wasn't discussed in this initiative is money for building of new schools. Now that doesn't come out of the legislature, that comes out of the sales tax. And both in Washoe County and Clark County, they need a lot more new schools to cover all the new students they're getting. And what we really need here is perhaps some kind of impact fee on developers to pay for these new schools. But what do you think the chances of that would be?
Good luck.
Exactly.
And I think it's almost the same with this initiative. I mean, $450 million is a huge amount of money, especially when you're talking about funding at the national average. When you're funding at the national average, you're taking all 50 states. So if they spend $14,000 per pupil in Washington, D.C. or in New York, that's going to affect what we fund here in Nevada. I think a much smarter way to do it would be to look at our region, look at the western states, California, Utah, Oregon, Arizona, and see what they funded at. I think Nevada stacks up a lot better when you look at where we are regionally as compared nationwide.
It's an interesting concept.
Well, but now, both of you raise a couple of interesting things. One, you talk about this phrase being pie in the sky, but, every time you talk about diversification with the economy, one of the main reasons that companies will move here is if the university system and the school system is up to snuff. If they look at our school system and feel that it's way below the national average, I think that could be a problem. The other thing is, Paul, just to respond to you, I've seen the value of my house rise tremendously over the last few years. Folks in Incline Village are having coronaries over their tax bills. My question is, with there being a 6-month to a year wait for homes and them being snapped up instantaneously, would this not be an appropriate time to put an increased tax on developers? Because who would notice?
I think we all would. Look, another thing that companies think about is what's tax base. How much are they going to pay in taxes? The reason that a lot of companies move here is because they're moving from some state that's taxing the bejesus out of them. I mean, the problem with this initiative is, I think, you're not going to get a chance to engage the debate about education. It's going to be about taxes. And I seem to recall a rather unpleasant 6 months of legislative debate about taxes.
But we're going to have
nobody disagrees.
We're going to have a big debate about education. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Between the Givens Initiative and this initiative, I mean, there's going to be almost constant.
Larry's point is that this is all about funding education, not about improving education.
That's right. We need to see some results. And
What?
That's the thing. Before you throw money at anything, you should have some results. I know I can't go in and ask for a raise if I don't show them anything, if I don't show them any improvement.
Nobody's throwing money at education. Education is so utterly underfunded, and especially with the concept of no child left behind, with the federal government not ponying up the money they said they promised the state. Instead, they're going to Mars.
You know what, Reno? I recall during the legislative session there being a proposal to actually add school days onto the calendar. So instead of 180 or 82, I think they were going to add on 5 school days.
Right.
As I remember, there were a lot of people in the teaching profession who were opposed to that.
I just think in the current political environment, raising the issue, making the issue of this year about taxes is probably going to be not to the advantage of those who are really seeking to have education fully funded. I mean, what this really means is we should tax Nevadans at the national average.
Andy, doesn't this come back to my old strategy here, which applies to everything, Sam's rule of marketing, that doesn't the Education Association and the teachers in general need to put together a marketing campaign that doesn't say, we want to raise your taxes to get to the national average, but if you put up this money, this is what you will get for this. This is what we will accomplish by this. And turn it from taxes into improvements.
Sam, first they're going to have to go back and say, here's where we've made improvements since the last time we funded
and I agree.
education.
That's part of the practice.
Well, the problem is they're not always able to do that. I mean, Carson City scores came out, it was in the paper this morning, and they're not as high as they have been in the past. They're not bad, but they're not as high as they were in the past. And this is what school districts are seeing all over, that the kids are just not hitting these proficiency levels that they need to
Okay,
achieve.
well, Ray, but you're into statistics, man. You come from a sports background. Can't numbers prove anything? If the teachers can do the job appropriately,
look, I think there's something wrong with the whole concept, because what we're doing is testing our kids and testing them more and testing them more.
And teaching just for tests.
Really, all we're really doing is weighing the pig. The pig never gets any fatter.
Well, give me a better way to do it. I mean, if you come to me tomorrow and you say, Paul, I have a better way to show you where we are than tests, I'm going to buy into it. But right now, we don't have that way.
It's the amount of testing that you do. You have the SAT, the ACT, the state
Those are only for people who want to go to college.
No, the testing starts, No Child Left Behind, in the 4th grade. The 4th grade testing.
That's not ACT and
no, it's
SAT,
not. But my point is, from 4th grade to 6th grade to 8th grade to 10th and 11th.
Does anybody like No Child Left Behind?
I think it's a great concept. I really do. But the application is all warped.
Yeah, maybe they could put some money into it.
Exactly. But the thing is, if we don't keep pushing this No Child Left Behind, we're going to have a direct correlation to higher prison populations in 10 years.
And that's
Larry,
it. We're out of time. We'll be right back.
It's America's largest historical district, and it's fun for the entire family. Virginia City is where the West comes alive every day, from train rides to gunslingers. Your gang can explore mines and interesting museums, visit historic saloons, and do some great shopping. Virginia City is the ultimate in family entertainment, and it's very affordable. Come up and stay overnight in our hotels, motels, and RV park. Virginia City, the Wild West at its best.
I ordered this beef broccoli here at Harris Buffet in Reno, and it was here in less than 60 seconds. What's up with that, Dave?
Sam, that's one of 20 dishes that we guarantee fast, guarantee fresh, made to order 7 days a week at Harris Reno's Buffet.
And I understand that just for this month, a 2-for-1 special just by showing your Nevada ID.
That's correct. We want to invite all of our Nevada residents to come down and experience this great buffet. We guarantee you a fresh, quality meal.
It's fast, it's delicious, and it's 2-for-1 at Harris Buffet.
Atlantis is cooking up a party. It's every diner's paradise. Toucan Charlie's Buffet and Grill, voted Reno's best buffet by locals year after year. Experience the Mongolian barbecue, new Asian station, and sumptuous exhibition stations filled with fresh entrees, salads, and desserts. Try the Friday night seafood buffet and Sunday champagne brunch. Atlantis.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo free checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
And coming up tomorrow,
Don Carlson will be here for an analysis of the New Hampshire primary and the upcoming caucuses and primaries.
It's getting very interesting.
And you're going to talk about the Mideast.
Okay, we'll see you tomorrow.